Okay, so we're back at it again with another edition of Rational Wrestling Talk. I got to talk about this whole, Twitter rant from Tony Khan talking about Jinder Mahal has a loss record, has never won a match to even earn a shot at the world title, and him going off about how Hook, is getting an AEW world title shot with a 28-1 record, win-loss record, and basically comparing that record to Jinder's, win-loss record, saying Jinder has never won a match at all last year to even earn a shot at the world title. So let me just break this down, man, because Tony Khan, at the end of the day, needs to stay off of Twitter. The guy is becoming too addicted to ranting on Twitter. I don't know who is in charge of this man's Twitter. Somebody should be in charge. I mean, let's be honest here. Somebody should be in charge of Tony Khan's Twitter. Listen, I'm going to be taking over your Twitter so you don't go ham on anybody, so you don't start saying some weird stuff. You don't start ranting. You don't start saying stuff that has nothing to do with the product. And in this case, he's going off about another promotions wrestler getting a world title shot. And this is ludicrous. And it's just unnecessary. Now, someone definitely has to come in and take over this man's Twitter, because he simply has no control over his own Twitter and his own tweeting thumbs or tweeting hands. So somebody has to micromanage this guy's Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So Jinder Mahal gets roasted by The Rock. He's in a segment with The Rock, which, by the way, it drew over millions and millions of views. And the highest rated segment of that Raw episode, it did pretty good numbers. So Jinder getting a world title shot on Raw next week shouldn't even be a problem for anybody, because let's look at it like this. Jinder's going to get a world title shot on Raw next week, and he's going to lose. Yes, the guy is going to lose to Seth. There's no way you're telling me that Jinder is going to get a mega push after losing to Seth Rollins. He was simply in that segment with The Rock to basically set up or tease a potential match with Roman Reigns. That was the entire point of that segment. Did it do wonders for Jinder? I guess you can say that. But I guarantee you, and I'm predicting, that Jinder is going back to the mid-card after he loses to Seth. He'll be in the Rumble match, and then who knows, the guy might disappear for a couple months and come back later. Or he'll be on Raw, he'll lose more matches. I don't see Jinder getting a bigger push or anything important for WrestleMania or any pay-per-view going forward, because obviously his time was in 2017 when he won the WWE title. And that was a hard time to get through as a wrestling fan. That whole run of the modern day Maharaja, that was complicated. And dare I say, it was cringe. That title reign was very cringe. And it was probably one of the worst title reigns in history because Jinder Mahal is boring. Let's be honest here. He's boring. But when he's in the ring with The Rock, someone like The Rock, people are going to watch. People are going to turn on the TV. People are going to look. People are going to want to see what The Rock has to say to Jinder. Right? Or most likely want to hear The Rock roast Jinder. And credit to Jinder, Jinder looked good. He looked good getting roasted by The Rock. He sold it pretty well. You know, he got a couple licks in on The Rock, got a couple of haymakers in, but ultimately he took the spine buster and took the people's elbow. But the fact that The Rock allowed Jinder to get a couple shots on him, let alone in a segment with The Rock, they could wind up pushing Jinder going forward. But for me, I just don't see them really pushing Jinder all that much. And I definitely do not see him beating Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Definitely not happening. But when it comes to Tony Khan ranting about Jinder not winning a match and then all of a sudden getting a world title shot, that's none of his business. Focus on your own company. Your company right now is going through some tough times. Barely filling up seats, half empty arenas. I mean, Tony, get it together, my guy. You currently have, a wrestler under your payroll that is being accused of sexual harassment, right? And most likely you probably had her sign an NDA to cover up for the whole thing, to cover up Chris Jericho and to cover your own ass, because AEW, when this whole thing happened or, allegedly happened with Jericho and Kylie Ray, AEW was in its inception days, its honeymoon phase, period, right? The beginning of AEW, a brand new company, and she winds up leaving AEW in its early days. That's a little bit suspicious, right? But Tony Khan, man, needs to stay off Twitter. He needs to stay off Twitter or have somebody run his Twitter. This guy will just say anything on Twitter just to get attention at this point. What was the point in ranting about Jinder getting a world title shot? He's going to lose. Why does it matter? After Jinder loses, he's more likely going to be a mid-carder again. Just like with Hook, when Hook faces Samoa Joe and he loses to Samoa Joe, Hook will be back to the mid-card. No one in their right mind thinks that Hook is going to beat Samoa Joe for the AEW World Championship after Joe literally just won it against MJF. There's no way. Samoa Joe will be the second guy to beat Hook. I get the whole win-loss record thing, which, by the way, it matters more in AEW than it does in the WWE. We have been shown, and it has been proven, that win-loss records do not matter in the WWE. It doesn't matter. And this is how both companies are being ran differently, right? An example of both companies being run differently. Obviously, the WWE is not going to focus on wins and losses. Jinder got to be in a highest rated segment with The Rock. And look what happened. He got a world title match because of it. But if we are complaining about Jinder Mahal getting thrusted in a world title match, right? You know, technically speaking, right, in order to face the champion, the world champion, you would have to, I don't know, win a number one contenders match or something. I don't believe Hook won a number one contendership match to face Samoa Joe. I don't recall Hook ever winning a number one contenders match or a tournament to get a shot at Samoa Joe. So if we're going to be getting on Jinder and ranting about Jinder, then why aren't we giving Tony Khan smoke about Hook getting an AEW world title shot against Samoa Joe? Also, Tony Khan looks very stupid because not too long ago, if you remember on that one AEW Dynamite episode, and I believe this was the opening match, MJF defended the AEW world title against Daniel Garcia. Now, let's just think about this. How many matches in 2023, since AEW cares so much about wins and losses, how many matches did Daniel Garcia win to face MJF for the world title? How many matches did he actually win to earn a shot at the world title? When MJF was the world champ, he fought Daniel Garcia in the opening match on Dynamite, which should have been the main event. So why did Daniel Garcia, I'm pretty sure Daniel Garcia's win-loss record is a lot worse. Because if I remember correctly, I remember the guy losing a whole lot of matches. I remember the guy losing a whole lot of matches. But for some reason, he gets to face MJF for the world title out of nowhere. How does that work? So by Tony's logic, you have to win a whole bunch of matches to face the world champion. But a couple months ago, Daniel Garcia, who has a worser win-loss record than Hook, Daniel Garcia lost a lot of matches last year, but he still got a world title shot against MJF. I'm a little bit confused on that. Y'all going to have to explain that one to me. He lost a lot of his matches last year, but still was able to get a world title shot. But you're complaining about Jinder getting a world title shot against Seth? Like, make it make sense. Tony Khan needs to worry about his own company. Why do you care if Jinder gets a world title shot? Oh, because he was in a segment with The Rock? Because he got roasted by The Rock? Hey, if you get put in a segment with The Rock and then you get a world title match right after, that should tell you everything you need to know about The Rock. That should tell you the star power of The Rock. That should all it should tell you that about The Rock's star power. Straight up. And let me just say this too before I get off here. There was another guy that went toe-to-toe with The Rock on the mic, right? And he got roasted and he got dropped. And it was Austin Theory. Austin Theory, not too long ago, was in a promo segment with The Rock. He got dropped, got roasted by The Rock. But if I remember correctly, Austin Theory looked very good with The Rock. In fact, in that segment alone, Austin Theory showcased more personality, more charisma than he ever did in his career up until that point. If I'm being honest, Austin Theory did a better job going toe-to-toe with The Rock than Jinder Mahal did. I thought Theory did a way better job than Jinder Mahal did, going toe-to-toe with The Rock on the mic and just hanging with The Rock. Because that's not an easy thing to do, to be able to hang with The Rock. Not anybody can do that. But Austin Theory did a great job. But in that logic alone, how come Austin Theory didn't get to face Roman Reigns for the world title? If Jinder got to get roasted by The Rock and attacked by The Rock and got people's elbow dropped, the same thing happened to Austin Theory back in September. How come Austin Theory did not get a world title shot against Roman? That's what I'm trying to figure out. That part kind of confuses me, because if we're giving guys world title opportunities just because they're in promo segments with The Rock that did great numbers, how come Austin Theory did not get a world title opportunity against Roman Reigns? I'm just saying, ever since that point, they've done nothing with Austin Theory. And I thought that was Austin Theory's best segment. That was the best Austin Theory ever looked. He had more personality, had more charisma, and he was able to hang with The Rock. He was able to hang with The Rock. So I'm giving Austin Theory his flowers and his credit back in, for his promo segment with The Rock back in September. I'm giving him his credit, But Tony Khan, the whole point of this video, Tony Khan got to shut down Twitter. He has no self-control, and he'll just say anything for attention. Even if his logic, his own logic makes sense, and it doesn't make sense for Jinder to get a world title shot after never winning any matches, still, it has nothing to do with his company. Why are you even commenting on that to begin with? I mean, what does Tony Khan really gain from commenting on Jinder getting a world title opportunity in 2024? Worry about your own damn company. Worry about filling up those seats, okay? Worry about your own roster, your own talent. Point blank, end of discussion. Tony Khan needs to stay off Twitter, because right now the guy looks like a clown. He looks like a clown. And, this is like the second or third instance where this guy is just saying very unnecessary things and just going off tantrums and rants for no reason. So that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Give me your thoughts. Like for the algorithm, subscribe for more content. And this is another edition of the Rational Wrestling Talk. And I am the Rational Wrestling Mark. And I am out. Peace.